Feel incredible!
It's not a cartoon, it's anime! Yes! Well, let's go to another episode of Animeshun. Some of the squad is back. Hopefully I don't got food in my teeth because I'm kind of eating right now at the same time. But hey.
This part of the squad that matters is back.
Exactly.
Brennan's not here. He's doing some work-related stuff. So
Fuck him. No, he's not.
Work.
He's
air
not.
Quotes.
Yeah.
Air quotes work.
Yeah, air quotes. He didn't make it clap for you. He didn't do his signature facial yell, so y'all gonna miss all that.
Twerk.
Damn.
But it's probably not missed.
Not at all. Hey, I was like, part of me was like, damn, I should do it for him since he gone, but fuck him. He don't like when I say that we are the greatest fucking anime podcast in the entire world. If he showed that some love, maybe I would have did the power up like he does the power up. But he doesn't show it love, so fuck him. He can twerk his ass when he gets back.
I thought we all brought a lot more energy to that power up. I thought like the three of us all kind of made up for that lack of.
Yeah, for his bullshit.
His power up was like Yamcha. He's the Yamcha power ups. It looks great, but no,
nothing. Nobody wants to see, like Keenan said, that fucking trash ass body. That shit is garbage.
Somebody hit me up and was just like, yo, when you call Brennan a dad bod without no kids. He's dying.
That's why I'm keeping my shirt on at all times. I'm not.
You know what?
I'm not even gonna open myself up to that.
My money's on you, Rob, because that shit was trash. I don't think.
I don't
think.
Hilarious.
You know what's funny about Brennan? Brennan seems like he has the body of somebody that doesn't work out, but they do a lot of breathing techniques. Like they just do. That's like his cardio. That's like his cardio.
He doing Tai Chi.
That's not even Tai Chi. He just goes. That's my cardio for the day.
He's the ones that gets. He be. And I don't want to shit on these people, but he's the one to be like, I'm in a spin class. Like, fuck out of here, Brennan. I don't give a fuck.
Spin class is a beast, though, bro. I ain't gonna sit here and act like it ain't no shit. I ain't been in it, but I've seen it. That shit look tiring.
It does.
I think he's the least athletic out of us four, honestly. As much as he talks about his basketball and as little as Rob talks about his athleticism, I do feel that he is the least athletic out of us four. I really do.
He's definitely not as athletic as I am. That's for damn sure.
Yeah.
I can promise you that. But
I think the Syracuse fan and Rob would not allow Brennan to be more athletic than him.
Maybe in some things. I don't know. I don't know. It's been a minute for me too. I'm out of training.
Well, you know what we do on here, man. We do one-off, we do debates, we talk our shit. We do all that stuff, man. And the animation podcast. This we're going to finish up the God of High School, episodes 9 through 13. That's right, we're finishing this up.
Yes, sir.
And this is my pick. And I'm ready, man. I'm ready for what's about to come after these all 5 episodes.
Let's waste no time then. You mind if we get into it?
Yeah, go ahead, man.
All right. So episode 9, episode begins. Mori is rushing off to the location on the map left on his door that should lead him to his injured and imprisoned grandfather, Shintoism. And while at the arena, Mira and Han are wondering, where he is because their next match is like literally about to start. Han volunteers because he's suspended anyway. He's like, look, I'll go look out for him. And Mira's going to stay behind and try to do match 1. But Judge P tells him, like, you better hurry up because like if nobody's there for the second match, you're out of the tournament. So as Mira starts the match, we see the opponents are all cloaked in the Knox cult garb, their cloaks or whatever. But her opponent throws his cloak off and reveals he's actually like this super tan, muscle bound, swimmer type dude.
Super tan.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he was supposed to be black or just he had super tan, out in the sun all the time. It was a weird vibe.
I feel like that's how. Nah, never mind. I'll take that back.
Meanwhile, Mori arrives at the location he was told about and sees his grandfather tied up, but it's a trap, and a duplicate mimicking his grandfather just explodes like the Knox member in Judge Q's apartment. In the ring, though, Mira is struggling against her opponent, who reveals that he has captured her family sword. He has it. The guy that tried to marry her took it and ran away with it. And, not only that, he's unlocked the powers of the sword that she was never even truly able to grasp. The sword doesn't even recognize her as the true owner and returns to his grasp every time she tries to take it from him. Han, however, doesn't even really make it out of the building. When he runs into our resident middle-aged high schooler who is just getting beaten up by this busty girl in a Kill Bill outfit from Taek's team, he fights her off for a bit, though she seems to be doing it just because she's bored. He gets the upper hand, though, on her, and she's really impressed with him. But before anything else really happens, Taek shows up and is just like, hey, my team, we're rolling out. And Han can just feel how powerful this dude is. But as Mori pulls himself out of the wreckage of the demolished building, he sees that this was an assassination attempt by Knox, this guy who has the ability to clone himself. And he does his best to fight off all these clones, but he gets overwhelmed and falls into this basement to find tons of bodies down there, including the bodies of the opponents that his friends are supposed to be fighting in the tournament right now. Which is weird because we saw them in a flashback at a Knox meeting. So I don't know what's going on there. But he's not done yet. He uses some of his pressure point skills correctly this time in a way that will let him fight without getting tired without feeling anything for an hour. No pain, no nothing. Mira's doing her best to hang in there, but is getting stabbed with her own sword, getting picked up by her hair. It's a bad scene. But she pushes through her pain, finally summoning her Charyak, which is this weird ancient swordsman on a horse. And her family sword recognizes her then as the rightful owner and returns to her. And with that, she's able to pretty easily defeat her opponent's Kraken Charyak and win the match. And as she collapses, Mori actually returns just in time for his next match. We don't see how he got out until he starts his match. We get this split screen of how his fight lines up with the fight from the escape. And in both cases, he just dismantles his opponents pretty easily, unleashing his own custom dragon attack that all the judges and members of the Six that are watching are like, all right, we're going to take note of this. Next episode, we start with a flashback into Ilpio's history, showing why he hates that Taek guy so much. In a previous martial arts tournament, his cousin Sung Yun faced off against him and was permanently injured when he struck some low blows, stomping on her leg and stuff. And that's what caused him to lose his shit and beat him up in the street, demanding he apologize and, the reason why he's even in the tournament is he wants to get his friend's legs to work again. That's the whole reason why he's there. So then we see that Park Mujin is explaining to Mori, Han, and Mira, that their opponents the last round were Knox, inserts trying to sabotage the tournament, but things are going to go on as planned. He also explains that Knox is this cult that believes in one god, and their mission is to kill all the other gods and anyone else who worships them. So that's their whole deal, I guess. Back at the warehouse, Taek breaks his alliance with Knox and kills that clone assassin guy that attacked Mori, walking away saying, hey, the key's going to be mine. So he's completely on his own at this point. At the arena, though, we see Han is matched up against Ilpio's brawler cousin. She starts out, busting his eardrum, trying to knock him off balance, but it's just not enough in the end. She's about to go down, but, fights back, is trying to, push him to the edge. And that's when he summons his Charyak, which is this water aura energy thing, and just knocks her out cold. Next up is a match we've kind of been looking forward to, Ilpio versus Mori. And, before he enters the ring, his injured cousin, friend is kind of just like, hey, I know what you're here for. You don't need to fight for me. You should be fighting for yourself. Very similar to what Han's friend told him. But meanwhile, the leader of Knox is outside attacking. All of the people are coming in. Judge P's already been taken out. Park Mujin goes to confront him. And outside, all the Knox members are just kind of gathering, getting ready for the fight as the judges are all kind of lining up on the opposite sides. And they summon that giant sword from the sky that they used against Jin Tai Jin. And Park Mujin's only really able to stop this, just hold up the thing with his hands to stop it from hitting the earth. Meanwhile, though, Mori is being tested in the ring by Ilpio, who's, pushing him, trying to point out his weaknesses, basically whooping his ass. But when Mori's attacks don't work, kind of almost like Taskmaster, this Marvel villain, he starts using techniques he's seen before to address his weaknesses, using his own teammates, specialties, whipping out the sword style, and also Han's kung fu stuff. And this is actually able to push Ilpio back. Outside, Knox has summoned their god from heaven to just basically help push this sword down through Park Mujin's defenses. But one of the members of the Six, this guy who we saw introduces the Hulk, he's there with his backup band, just using his martial arts powers to grasp the sword and push it back up, while the judges are attacking the Knox members with their Charyaks. But back in the arena, Mori and Ilpio are going blow for blow, and in the end, Mori's just able to develop another original attack that knocks Ilpio out cold, but he refuses to lose. And at this point, we see him stand back up again, and he is awakened, and we find out that he's actually the key. It's not Mori, it's actually Ilpio, and he's the guy that everybody's been looking for, and he's the embodiment of the nine-tailed fox spirit, another classic anime call-out for Naruto. Knox and Park Mujin react, knowing that, the final conflict is basically here. Some exposition starts out this episode. They explain the nine-tailed fox, the legend of that. He was the guard. He was literally like God's bodyguard and was like the strongest thing ever until God like got scared of him and was just like, all right, take this dude out. And he wiped out like half of heaven just to like prove a point, and then was just like, all right, I'm going to go chill on Earth. But with, his new powers activated, all sorts of crazy stuff starts happening around the tourney grounds. Tyke becomes aware of the awakening, like his power starts activating. We even see some Knox cultists doing some weird shit to the magician's grandson, filling him up with like some weird dark energy. I thought he died from his match with Tyke, but apparently he's still around, even though we heard him flatline. In the ring, though, Ilpio is totally different and starts to beat the shit out of Mori again with like no problem or hesitation. But there's a part of him that's kind of like fighting back to gain control from the spirit. Like we see his eyes like changing colors. But as Ilpio launches his fiery finishing attack, something now awakens in Mori as well. And this time he summons the spirit of the Monkey King for his Charyak, clutching this extending pole that's his iconic weapon. And we see that, it's with this new weapon and strength, he's able to defeat Ilpio and win the round for his team, summoning this like giant hand that just flattens him against the mat. With the key defeated, Knox and its leader basically take off for now. They're like, all right, we're going to have to, do this another time. Park Mujin and the judges and the Hulk celebrate their victory. Recovering in his hospital room with his teammates, Ilpio, kind of sits down with Mori. They exchange some drinks. They're all still cool. And Mori tells him like, hey, my grandfather's still out there. He's been captured by Knox and he's being held prisoner somewhere. However, the magician's grandson we saw earlier, something weird is going on with him. He's broken free of his healing cell, is like kind of got like a two-face thing going on right now. And he runs into Tyke first and tries to exact his revenge. And the two get into a fight. And he's much stronger this time, but it's still not even close to, to deal with Tyke. And at this point, when his maid girlfriend shows up or whatever, he just like uses her as a tool against him. And that just enrages him. He goes on a rampage around the building. Like he absorbs his maid and starts just like smacking everybody around. He eventually runs into Ilpio's room and just deals with them as well. Starts to even just like absorb them as after Tyke like hits him so hard that he has to throw up his maid girlfriend again. But at this point, the maid is kind of trying to use the like sun's getting real low big guy technique from the Avenger movies on the Hulk. But as he's kind of turning around, Tyke uses his Charyak to literally bite this dude in half. And it's a costly attack, one that costs Ilpio's team an arm and a leg, quite literally. And outside, Knox reappears and begins summoning their sword once again, this time bringing angels down from heaven with him. And Judge Q is excited about this because he's like, these dudes are like 10 million yen bonus a pop. So he's just having a great time. But Ilpio is enraged at Tyke again, once again, injuring his teammates, his friends. And he just like tackles him out a window and they just start fighting in the street. And as this unfolds, Park Mujin's watching this on security camera, just like, all right, tournament's a wrap. We're done here. But Han, Mira, and Mori are in the hospital watching as Knox is, summoning now a golden god Buddha down from heaven to help out with their attack. Elsewhere in the hospital, the magician from the Six looks down on his grandson's mangled corpse and is just like, all right, I'm gonna avenge my grandson, even if it costs me my life. Little too late, I think, for him. But we are taken to a flashback where we kind of get Tyke's backstory. He was taken from his mother by his father, and his dad's just like, she's a loser. You don't want to deal with her. You're going to be my heir. And after that fight that he got in with Ilpio, he basically makes a deal with Knox that I guess gives him his powers. And while he's healing, he basically like killed his dad and took over his criminal empire. It was unclear to me whether or not that was voluntary on the dad's part, like if that's what he intended or if he's just kind of doing his own thing. But then he uses his powers to fight Ilpio in present day, and they're enough to stand up even against the nine-tailed fox. And around the city, it's just absolute bedlam. The judges are slaying angels left and right. Park Mujin is using his powers again to hold back the power of the descending god. In the chaos, Taik uses his technique to separate Ilpio from the key, and it just starts changing hands very rapidly. But eventually, Mori gets his hands on it, while Han and Mira look over the injured Ilpio, who's just bleeding out of the back of his head. Elsewhere across the Pacific, the Americans, I guess, let Park Mujin know their alliance is over, and they do so by launching 540 nuclear missiles on the city of Seoul, South Korea. Knowing the danger, Park Mujin transports those in the fight, pretty much everybody else other than himself and the leader of Knox, to this holy realm. In the holy realm, Han and Mira run into Ilpio's team members. Han, I guess, has some healing powers as part of his Chariok, so he's trying to do all that. But Mori, meanwhile, is actually with Ilpio and kind of learning a little bit more about the key, or at least what he can. He just knows that Taik wants it, and Ilpio's just like, I was hoping you'd be strong enough, basically to defeat him, and basically to keep this away from Taik. But it's not too long before he runs into Taik again, who's already beat up Han and Mir at this point, and he's no match for him without his Monkey King powers. Just on his own, he can't hold a candle to Taik where he's at. In Seoul, the Hulk is trying to help Park Mujin hold back the god form, but it breaks through both their defenses. And they warn that, Knox, you're going to destroy everything, like the entire world, everybody on it. And they're like, hey, that's our entire goal. But before they can do that, the magician emerges. He's got his little cape on, his little wand out. And he teleports everybody else away out of the city limits, I guess, and then uses his magic to combine all of those nuclear missiles into one giant nuclear missile and punch it through the Knox leader's defenses with a giant asteroid meteor thing. And this thing just goes off and just completely obliterates everything in the city. Except apparently the one guy that he was trying to kill. He's still just hanging out. He's fine, pretty much. But that's enough energy even to break through the power of the Holy Realm, and everybody that was there just is instantly transported back to ground zero. And the only person, like I said, actually still standing is the leader of Knox, who's still just standing there. But Taik is able to quickly snatch the key at that point. He grabs it from Mori and absorbs it into himself, and he transforms into this fallen angel, satanic angel form. It's very weird. But the stage is set now here in the final episode for the final conflict. In Park Mujin, the judges, the whole population of Seoul is watching from a nearby cliffside as the heroes face off against this unholy form that Taik's taken. They go after him. They try to use their powers, but until it's Han actually kind of sacrifices himself momentarily, but I guess not mortally. It's not until then that Mori's just like, all right, I'm going to awaken my monkey powers once again. He unleashes the Monkey King form, and at that point, yeah, he just basically whoops fucking ass. He goes full Goku mode. He's got the extending pole. He's got, his little cloud friend. He's calling down lightning, and it basically defeats him. And the Knox leader is still in that pose from when the bomb hit, and he's just watching in horror. But a couple of his cultists appear, take him away. It seems like the fight is over, but Taik actually has got one more trick up his sleeve, turns into an even more monstrous form. But instead of facing him alone, Mori's friends gather around him to face Taik together. Ilpio is somehow healed and able to use his nine-tail powers without the key, and joins them. Finally, Mori releases, one more Jin Mori original that shatters Taik's form, and he's consumed by the darkness, literally rejecting the hand of salvation as somebody's just like, get your hands off me. I'm not a loser. Some real Donald Trump energy from this dude as he just basically gets eaten alive by his own evil that he created. As he fades away, basically all these light fragments come from Taik's remains, scattering all over, some of them returning to Ilpio. But elsewhere, that busty Kill Bill chick is wandering around in a cave for some reason, and she gets found by a woman in traditional garb who snatches her up and brings her back to the heroes, and nobody knows who she is. But she explains that, basically she's another member of the Six, apparently the creator of all life on the world, the progenitor of all life, I believe is what she said. And she's the one that has the power to grant the wish of the God of High School tournament. She was the one she's their Shenron, I guess. But she's like, since this was basically a final fight, all of you are the winners. I'll grant you all a wish. But everybody's like, nah, I'm good. Except Mori, who wants to know more about his grandfather, but kind of looks around and sees all the destruction and damage that's gone on. It's just like, you know what? let me heal up everybody who was hurt in the fight. And she's like, I can do that. I can heal up everybody who isn't dead. If they're dead, sorry, too far gone. And so she heals. Ilpio's friends bring back their lost arm and leg, even heals up his friend who was hurt by Tyke from a completely different fight years ago. But, you know, she got grandfathered in. But she can't heal, like I said, can't heal the magician's grandson. Tough break. Can't heal anybody else that died, not the magician. But the other bits of information that she gives him is Jin Tai-jin is still alive somewhere, and Mori promises, you know, to find him, and then he just passes out. As the credits roll, we get some story in the epilogue. Park Moo-jin plans to take the presidency of South Korea next, while the leader of Knox seals a deal with some other powerful peoples and businessmen or whatever. We see in the background it is the blonde judge that was the traitor and helping him all along. Weird way to reveal that. Back at home, Mori wakes up 3 months later to find Mira and Han cooking for him. He eats a ton as they fill him in on all he missed. Apparently, Ilpio is taken off in search of the other pieces of the key, Dragon Ball style. Basically, you know, which she also explains what the key is for. Apparently, it allows people to call down one of the gods from heaven and give a human the power to kill it. Would have been really good to know that before this point, so we knew what anybody was fighting about. But, you know, finally they tell Mori that, you know, hey, you've got a bunch of memories that are sealed away, and that if you want to go unlock them, we got to go to your grandfather's homeland. So they decide to do that. So I'm sure that's what they're going to go on to do in season 2. But the last little image we get, we go to a dark prison, some dungeon somewhere where Knox is holding Jin Tai-jin, and it sounds like they're trying to turn him into their own weapon. And so if there is a season 2, which it's popular enough that there might be, it sounds like Jin Tai-jin will be fighting Jin Mori, and he'll have to fight his grandfather. And that was season 1 of God of High School.
Yo, Rob, I want to give you a round of applause for somehow putting that shit together. You put
I appreciate
it better than they did, because now I kind of understand a little bit more.
Honestly, I think I did. There's still some question marks in there.
And I actually meant to go watch like a review online to see what they would say, and so I can at least maybe I missed some things, but it is what it is. We're here to the question portion of the show. Thank you, Rob. Appreciate it.
For sure.
So let's get down to the business. Yeah, we watch a lot of anime that has like a lot of religion involved, or they involve religion, and they use religion, of course, as their reasoning for doing things. What religion outside of your own do you think you find the most interesting to watch? Like,
I found Buddhism pretty interesting. It's pretty cool, just like the bits and pieces that I learned about it. First and foremost, I think the biggest takeaway that I've always learned and appreciated about Buddhism is just the karma piece. You know, granted, they say it a lot, you know, more sophisticated than I say it, but just like what goes around comes around. And that's just like, that's something that their staple is, like, give good energy, you bring it back. And that's something that I'm more and more, you know, as I get older, I kind of believe in and see it. You know, I've felt it, I've experienced it. So I think that some of the teachings, I know they have like the 4 ways and the 3 principles or something like that. I think I'm messing up or maybe mixing them, but it's like, I know they have like with the 4, it's like the suffering. Like, I just like, because a lot of religions are vague, and it's just like, you know, I forgot the quote in Christianity, like, do amongst the who do you want, whatever. But a lot of stuff is vague, you know, and I think with Buddhism, they have like levels, like I think it's like suffering they talk about. It's like a reason suffering happens, how to bring it into it, and, you know, why is this happening to you, what you can do to solve it. And I think that, I just like that. And I think, and the Buddha look cool as fuck. I mean, let's all, I mean, that's something people, I mean, there's a whole brand around Buddha, like true religion. Like, the Buddha is like a thing that's oftentimes used in cultural. If you don't know nothing about Buddhism, you know Buddha. So it's just like, I think I like that in general. I mean, that's what appealed me to the religion in the first place. But yeah, that would definitely be mine.
Rob?
Yeah, no, I think Ice brings up a lot of good points. Just to do something different. I'm probably going to butcher this, and I apologize if I insult anybody's beliefs, but I think it's Shintoism is what they practice in Japan. It's one of their oldest religions, and it's the idea that, like, kind of everything has a spirit. The idea of, like, there's these kamis that are around, and it's like, you know, we're all connected to everything. You're connected to your ancestors. You're connected to the, you know, to the world, to the, you know, everything has like a spirit that embodies it, you know. And I always thought that was pretty cool that, like, you know, you treat everything with respect. It's a similar sort of thing to even Buddhism. The idea that, like, you do good things, treat things with respect. That always seemed to vibe with me. And also just the idea of, paying homage to the people that came before you, and the people that did what they could so you could be where you are.
For me, I mean, I guess Islam really, because I got a lot of family. A lot of my family is I would say good portion of my family is they study and they that's what they go off of. So I've seen it a lot, that and Christianity the most. Buddhism too. Buddhism does look pretty interesting, but I just haven't got a chance to look too deep into either one of those. But the reason why would be because my family was into it. I want to know why they chose that, because even though we were raised Christians, why did they choose to convert over? And I mean, yeah, I don't have a deep reason like how y'all did.
Hey man, it doesn't have to be a deep reason; it's a reason.
Yeah, that would be the reason why.
Hold on, Keaton. Do you take because if you guys don't know, we submit our questions. We text Keenan our questions, and then he says them on the show. Each of us usually at around a minimum give him 2 questions, and then if we have questions that are similar, he combines them. So Keenan, do you think of the answers to these questions when we send them, or you wait till the show?
A lot of times I don't even look at y'all questions. I just thumbs up it, and then what I do is I try to do a half hour before the podcast. I'll put it into my notes doc, and I still really don't look at it. I just copy and paste it because I try to give myself. That's why my answers don't necessarily be always clear and concise either, because I try not to. I don't think it's fair that y'all have to answer off the cuff, and then I have this.
Come with this dissertation?
Yeah, because I can take y'all questions. I can look at them a few days early and break it down and be like, all right, this is what I'm going to say. I can really look some stuff up and have the best answer. I think that's something Brennan would do.
Definitely. 100%.
Because he would have the best answer to everybody. But I'm just integrity wise, I feel like for some reason I'm like, that's not integrity right there.
Yeah, I appreciate you respecting the system.
Yeah. That's why I always wondered, because I'm and that's what I thought, because of, like I said, how you answer them. Sometimes it's you on the spot too with it. So, I mean, I think that makes what's best for everybody, but I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, and sometimes I'll answer first to put myself, or I can't answer your questions first, but I try to answer second because I still don't have my thoughts together, but I just try to go and, just go off how I feel or whatever. Next question. As a leader of the judges, and Park Mujin was kind of, looked like he was a boss up. He had a crazy intro, smashing somebody with his hand out the gate. As a leader of the judges in the 6, did Park Mujin live up to the hype, or was he a pump fake? Rob.
Park Mujin for me, giant pump fake. They started out the show so hard,
pump fake.
He was smashing the fucking island from however many thousands of miles away. And in the final battle, all that dude did was hold his hand up to the sky like this. That's all he did. And I can get into a whole other bunch of bad decisions this man made. But then the thing that killed me most of all is this is all unfolding. Everything he wants is happening off in the distance. And he just let that shit happen and just watch from the fucking bench. You are the strongest guy. We're supposed to be he just a couple episodes ago. He's just you guys are weak.
Yeah.
And then he just sat back and watched him do it. Just damn, I hope this works out. So Park Mujin did not live up to the hype for me.
Definitely KD, Kobe Bryant, Steph Curry pump fake, bro. That shit. You gotta understand, he had two.
Melo coming out of the crowd, just
bro, he had 2 kind of boss moments that got you kind of all right, let's see what he gonna do. The smashing with the hand, and then when one of the dudes for the 6 came up and he kind of killed him, and then he was like, nah, that wasn't even me, bro. You getting slow out here in these streets. I was like, oh, he gonna be a monster.
Yeah.
In the final fight, he don't put no work in. Besides holding the roof up. Hold the roof!
You gotta understand, man, that's a heavy sword.
Man.
Anything else.
That's God's sword. He held up God's sword by himself.
I understand metaphorically, or not even metaphorically. I guess technically that's what he was doing. But bro, we want to see that action. We want to see that action. He didn't give it to us. Huge pump fake. They to me, they dropped the ball on that right there. Nice.
My man Park Mujin came through first and foremost. He came through, put a hand on a fucking island. Who handed? He just said, you know what? Fuck Australia. Just took that shit clean out. Okay. Then, as I stated before, held a fucking God. This is not no regular fucking, person sword. This is God's sword. This is not no fucking Tanjiro sword. This is God's sword from the fucking heavens. I don't think I should say that in succession like that, but I apologize. But from the heavens, he took God's sword down. And after all that, he's a fucking pump fake. The dude is trash.
Trash, dude.
Trash.
Sitting on the sideline.
What the fuck? It is you on the sideline staring at your click. What? No, he's and he look cool. You give him the devil horns. You give him the fucking laser suit or whatever the fuck he had, similar to what I got on right now, something like that. He look cool as fuck. The best, honestly, out of the shitty character design that the show has, he has some of the best. You raising it. You started this guy out of high school. You wiped the floor with one of the alphabet boys. Wiped the floor with him when he tried to press you.
The alphabet boys. Oh my God.
And then the shit come when the shit get live. It's like the homie that's always talking shit, and then when shit go live, he know where to be found when the shit get going.
Where was you at, man? I was stopping. There was this guy over there. I had to get on him. Like, no, you did. Wait. We already whooped his ass. You going to whoop somebody else's ass? We already whooped him. Well, he was getting back up, so I had to hold him down. He was the biggest guy. So,
fuck, man. Nah,
he's over there
definitely
talking about load management.
Kimber Walker level step back, pump fake, all of that. Trash.
Yes, definitely Kimber Walker's step back. Next question. Was this the biggest waste of dope ass characters? Like I feel like they introduced a bunch of characters that were potentially going to be dope. The Six, what did they call it? His judges.
His judges, yeah.
To me, this was the biggest waste. We didn't get this. Like the judges, they didn't show no up close fight with the judges. Really, with the Angels, like them going to work, them fighting any of the other big time bosses that Park Moody had to get into, or that Jin had to get into, like. You didn't have any of them fight like that for real. Like, we didn't see it. The Six, they showed like one or two of them, like two of them kind of put some work in a little bit. Bro, I was sitting there like, I was like, y'all just introduced too much. Y'all introduced way too many characters. And now I'm hyped to see all these guys. And you gave them no work to do.
None.
You gave them no work to do. I don't know what the other judges even do. I just saw the white hair and the original judge that was fighting earlier. They went back to work again a little bit. Yeah. They had a little whatever, Chernobyl, whatever that shit's called, fighting or whatever. But the other ones weren't doing too much.
What was the red-haired dude doing? Where's the blonde guy? Where's the blue-haired girl? Like, what are any of them doing?
Super, super biggest waste of dope-ass characters that I've seen. And I can't think of, that we watched here, I can't think of a setup of that many dope characters. Because, I mean, I think in... Gangsta. When the kid came, with the kid that was young but old, we was like, he gonna come in and do some work, and then just never showed his fight scene. That was a waste. But this is like 10 characters that were just like, yeah, we ain't gonna even give y'all nothing with them. Ice?
It was a waste.
Yeah.
Rob?
I agree, because I'll even elaborate on that. I thought like at one point they might be like, oh shit, like all of the tournament fighters that have been like in this tournament, like they're all going to hit the streets and they're all going to be using like their stuff against the Angels. It's going to be like, Avengers Endgame out there, like all these guys fighting against Knox. And it just, well, obviously that didn't happen. And nothing really happened. They all just got transported away. It was a big waste. I mean, even so far as like, even in the first tournament, I totally agree with you, Keenan. They just introduced too many characters where they would like, oh, here's the dude with like some star headphones on. Oh, you got this girl who's like, like a wrestler type. All of them had like 10 minutes, and then never came back or did anything. They like designed all these other characters that were going to be like in the tournament for what?
And my thing is, fuck it. No, it's a waste.
It's just a waste.
So next question. What anime world do you feel you can hold your own in? Nice.
And when I propose this question, I'm thinking as a human being with like as myself, not like if you put myself in that world and give myself those powers. Yu Yu Hakusho is probably the only one that I would have a chance until they start getting into, you know, the spirit gun and stuff. Outside of that, I think I would have a chance because I mean, that's what we love about anime. Part of me wants to say Baki, but I feel like I would have a better chance.
Hell no, bro.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Exactly. That's what's like. Granted, they're the most quote unquote grounded, like as far as like not a lot of powers and beams and that, but I would get fucking smoked. I feel like in Yu Yu Hakusho, I would have a chance until they start getting into, you know, spirit guns and stuff like that. But like off the jump, I can't last in Baki. It may be more grounded than Yu Yu Hakusho, but I'm getting smoked out there easy. So yeah, definitely Yu Yu Hakusho for me.
Rob.
I mean, honestly, as I am, I don't know that there's a single anime I could go into and not get just absolutely destroyed. Maybe, honestly, like a Cowboy Bebop, because like everybody's just regular people and just like cruising around space. Like if I could get like, you know, a gun or something, or maybe some like space future tech, like, you know, I could kind of even the playing field a little bit just as I am. But even then, like Spike and Jet, like they can fight. Like Jet or Spike's no joke. That dude can fight with the best of them, you know, as long as he's not overpowered. Kuroko no Basket, like maybe
I was smoking them motherfuckers on the court, bro.
Oh hell yeah!
I could probably take Kuroko 1-on-1, I think.
Yeah. And I'm locking his ass up, bro. No problems.
And you didn't even have to smack the floor. You just lock him up regular.
I ain't gonna put my Gary Paytons on and chew my gum like Gary Payton, act like I'm playing defense like him. I'll just lock him with a regular thing. This is the best I can think of, but I still think I don't know. I'm not sure how intelligent wise if I could do it. Is Death Note, because I mean you're dealing with why can't I think of his damn name right now?
Light.
Light. You're dealing with Light, who's extremely intelligent, but at least the playing field with everything else, if you're just trying to go, is just like regular people, regular cop type shit. And if I had that hunch, I might have just shot him in his face anyways.
In fact.
And he might have had it set up. He shoots me in the face. It's okay, I die, but then he dies in front of his whole family. I wrote that down in the notebook. He might have that written down, so I'll take that. But shit, we both lost, bitch.
Yeah, shoot first, ask questions later.
5 episodes.
Still was. I think still was a great anime.
100%.
Yeah, for sure.
It definitely lived up.
For sure.
Next question. If you take the characters from this show and put them in the Tournament of Power from Dragon Ball Z, are they taking the title, or is Zeno-sama erasing their universe? Rob.
I don't think they're the first universe out, because there were some trash universes in that
That dog universe with Ogama and all. Out of here. Because like
I think like when you get to the power scale, like Taik, like at his peak, Ilpio at his peak, even like Mori at his peak, like they could do some damage. Like then you've got like a bunch of other people, you know, Park Mujin included, that are probably getting knocked out. But I think in the end of the day, they're getting erased. Like I think they're just, at the end of the day, I don't think they got it. I think for a lot of, and I was even talking about this with somebody in the comments, just like the power scale of these Chariocs is just like so inconsistent. And just like, I don't think they'd be the first universe out. But I don't think that they would win the whole thing. No.
Yeah. Get them the fuck out of here, bro. They're out of here. They're universe number 2. Because once Hit gets involved and it stops time, I don't see any of them doing anything with that. They're just going to be frozen, knocked out of there. Jiren with this little eye thing, boom, knocking them all off the thing. I think they're the second one to go, and I wouldn't care either. I think I'll be like, get them out of here.
Big old shrug.
Yeah, nice.
Only thing that they would have a chance winning is worst character design versus Jiren. I think that's the only thing that they would have. Who would have the worst character design? That'd be a close one. But in actual fighting, they would get erased.
I think you saying Jiren had a whack character design?
His character design is garbage.
It's pretty weak.
This shit is trash.
I didn't have an issue with it. I like how he looked face wise. I think the suit wise, I think I understand that's like a easy gray alien, but it made sense, and he just looked dope. Maybe because how big he was too.
This man, compared to Cell, the androids, Frieza, like
Boo.
King Cooler, who looked cold as fuck. All of the boos, like
true. Compared to every other design, he was pretty
garbage.
Yeah, he was like hit was dope.
Hit was dope.
Hit is cool. Yeah, I feel like with Jiren's design, they put like a little kid's like head on a giant body. Like it just feels like it's a mismatch.
They would
of like Earthworm Jim. So Earthworm Jim
exactly.
bodysuit.
Exactly. And that's they would have a character design trash off. That's it.
Hilarious.
All right. This is the last question because Brandon's question doesn't mean anything. In the words of one of the greatest R&B singers of all time, what would be your one wish?
Right.
Ooh.
Ray J, one of the greatest of all time. Man, we ain't gonna do that.
Oh, are you serious?
No,
but they're unbreakable.
If you
they don't break.
One wish, you know what? For me, because here's, I guess I don't want to say one wish because I think we've kind of asked this before. But I guess in this particular world, I think Jin's not the brightest kid. And I think this wish was dumb. He healed up his friends. Then they showed the city. The city was fucked up. You didn't wish for the city to get repaired back to normal so y'all can at least get back to normal the next day? No. If you had one wish, I guess, in this world, what would you have repaired? I would have repaired that whole city that got jacked up to normal immediately. From all the damage. So, yeah. So all that damage being done from all that stuff, hopefully that can include some of their injuries. If not, fuck it. But I'd rather have that than just healing 3 motherfuckers' arms and legs. It's ridiculous. Ice?
I mean, just to pick something different from you, I would either wish. Tell me where. I don't know if that was within the limits of her power, but tell me where the key is. Tell me all the fragments. Give me a dragon radar or some shit for the fragments.
Yeah, I don't think she said it wasn't a radar in her power element. So
she just said she couldn't bring anybody back from the dead. I think that was the only limitation.
Give me a fragment radar so we can figure this shit out and get this shit over with.
Or introduce me to Boma, bitch. Like, where's Boma at? All right, so
where's my fucking Boma?
Rob.
Yeah, I'm struggling to find something a little bit different from what you guys have said, just because like. You're absolutely right, Keenan. I'm kind of embarrassed to say, I didn't even think of that. Like, these 3 people are martial artists that signed up for a tournament where it was like no holds barred. Mm-hmm. They signed up for this.
Yeah.
How many fucking houses, businesses, like storefronts, apartment buildings got fucking exploded because of their bullshit? And he's just like, nah, heal up these 3.
You can't even go get your favorite ramen no more, bro. You can't get your favorite ramen place no more. That shit is gone.
Oh my God.
You got to be often reminded about that. Like, damn, I wish they could. Oh, fuck.
So any wish, it could be like, I guess it can even be like getting stronger in that world. Mm-hmm. Like getting Jin stronger, getting, I don't know, anything.
I would also.
But they could be reminded. Like, you go to eat ramen, you don't have a place. You're reminded that you could have changed this.
If she can't bring people back to life, then maybe she can kill people. I'd be like, kill Knox. Wipe them off the face of the earth. Let's deal with that threat. Let's make sure they're done. They're not coming back because clearly they just want to wipe off like every life off the face of the earth. Just kill those dudes Death Note style and go find your grandpa. Like, go do that. That might have been a better way to use that wish other than just like heal up these 3 dudes that knew what they were doing.
Let's sign up for this. Yeah. Garbage. All right. So that's the end of the questions. We're going to get into how we felt about it. Brennan didn't give me his reasoning. So all he said was pretty much he shook his head at me. So I'm guessing he wasn't fucking with this anime like that, or at least the end of this anime. But go ahead, Ice. Give your likes, dislikes, and your rating. Rating for these 4, rating for these 5, and rating overall.
What I liked about the show is that it's fucking over. What I don't like about the show is, and I was with it. I don't want to, go back on my word or anything that I said prior to this. I was with it. 26500s back to back. I felt in that moment that they were justified. But these last stretch of episodes undermines those other 8 like nobody's business. In particular, the last 2 episodes. What the fuck was that? What the fuck was that? And in my head, I'm like, okay, just be rational, because I know y'all always try to get on me about logic and being rational and all that other bullshit that I never agree with because it's not facts. But y'all say that, and I'm like, okay, let's be rational here. Can 2 episodes, mainly 1 really, undermine and destroy the 11 to 12 episodes prior to? And the answer is fuck yes. Fuck yes. Those last 2 episodes eradicated any good memories that I had about this anime. Fuck this anime. What is it? You say that this is the key. Everybody getting their dicks hard over this key for you to get it and say, oh, you know what? There's actually a key holder. There's a key holder, key master that just obliterates that key to make that key non-existent. What the fuck is that? Who are these characters that you just brought in and don't give a fuck about? Character design, trash, Park Mujin, a fucking pump fake. What is this? What are we doing? What is the power scale? What is the power scale here? We have people fighting hand to hand, and next episode, we fighting a god.
I don't know, man. Man.
What? In a span of 12 episodes. It'd be different if we season 10 and they didn't work their way up into fighting this guy. Then that's a little bit more plausible. In a 12 episode stretch, y'all went from Tai Chi, karate, and taekwondo to fighting a fucking god. Stopping a sword that's coming out of the air. Fuck this anime. I hope the whatever the word is, I hope that is better and I hope it's longer. And don't give me that I did what I could with the source material, because I don't think it's that bad. Fuck this anime. Stretch of episodes. I give them a 2,000 overall for this anime. Fucking, I want to give it less. I want to give it overall 4,000, but I'm going to give it 5 overall. Would not recommend this solely off those last 2 episodes. If you want to know what disappointment is outside of gangster, watch this anime. That's the only way I recommend it. Fuck this anime, and I'm not watching season 2. I don't give a... Where's his grandpa? Where's his grandpa? Huh?
In a dungeon somewhere, I guess.
I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn about these characters dying. I'm not invested in none of them. Fuck these characters and their design. And I don't give a damn about this adventure that they're about to go on to find his grandpa. Fuck this anime.
Good.
I think he...
All right.
I think he's good. I'm just going to go ahead and... I know we like to get through our animes, like sometimes when we're just like, oh man, 24 episodes, 35 episodes, we roll our eyes. But honestly, I feel like this is maybe one time that an anime could have benefited from, like, I feel like we went through like 2 or 3 seasons at least of material in 12 episodes. It was, and I think, and it left me with so many questions. I just wrote down every question I had at the end of this, and I'm just going to read those real quick in lieu of my favorite and least favorite, because honestly, this is all I can think about when talking about the show. So after the big lead in for the 6, why did we meet only 3 or 4 of them by the end of the season? What were the rest of them doing during this final fight? Why didn't Park Mujin go to help the kids and try to get the key himself? If he's so fucking strong, why is he just standing there watching like, damn, this is crazy? Why did that nuclear blast kill everyone except the one person that it was trying to kill? What was Mujin's alliance with the Americans? Why did they call it off? They didn't do anything until the deal. They just said, all right, deal's off. We're launching all these nukes. Why did they wait until the end credits were rolling on the final episode to tell us what the key was? Wouldn't that information have set up the stakes and help us appreciate what anybody is fighting for and what's going on? Why is Mira's sword so important? It didn't do anything to the god that they summoned, so or to control it or hurt it. So why did that matter? Why was there that whole scramble to try and marry her? Why did they try to make the clones for their tournament members clones instead of just as just a character twist? Why not make them just regular old Knox members? Why make them clones? We don't know who these people are. It means nothing to us when we see them dead later. Why would they make them why would they put them in the meeting in a flashback to establish that these are bad guys if they're just gonna be like, nah, those are just fake people. We just kept them around and brought them to the meeting so they would know what was going on. Also, if you're trying to keep a low key in this tournament, why would you dress up your spy entrants as members of Knox? Doesn't that give them away? How did they not put one and one together that, they're here to sabotage this tournament? Why didn't Park Mujin why did he transport Tayek to the Holy Realm? He's the strongest, if not second strongest fighter on the board, who's also evil and trying to get Ilpio and get the key. Why send him to the safe place with all the people you're trying to keep safe? Why is Ilpio able to transform into nine-tailed fox when the key's been taken from him? Why is that big busty girl beating up on the 38-year-old man? And then why was she just wandering around in a cave? What did Tayek tell her to do? Why did Han stop looking for Mori when that was his entire mission to go find Mori, and instead stops to fight that girl to save this old ass high schooler? His tournament hopes are literally on the line while he's fighting this girl. Why did they have the magician's son flatline only to bring him back just to have him get killed again by the same person? He could have just died, and Park Mujin could have, told him, hey, don't get revenge. We need to find the key. And then when the tournament ends, he can be like, all right, fuck that. All bets are off. I'm going to go get this dude. Why did the magician get his revenge against the leader of Knox? It was Tayek who killed his grandson, and it was made clear that they were not together. Who was Tayek's dad? Not part of Knox, I guess? Then why did Knox give Tayek powers, and then Tayek said he doesn't need them later on? Why did they reveal that the traitor of the judges' ranks during the montage without having them in any other scene so that we could know who they are or why they did what they did or establish any kind of emotional stakes or connection with this person so it would be like, oh, damn, there's this betrayal. Why didn't they do that? What were those stupid risk power level things for if only just not to tell? Oh, the only thing they did is they told Mori's friends that it was his birthday, and then they went down to -1 when Ilpio turned into the fox. They literally did nothing else and gave no real information. Why did Knox want to destroy the world? They wanted to kill the followers of other gods, but they don't want them to maybe just make them worship their own, maybe bring more people in. Why kill everybody, but why not try to brainwash them or convert them? What do they gain by destroying the world? What the hell does water have to do with Han's fighting style or technique that becomes his Chariok? How come when they went to the Holy Realm, even though Han and Mira were literally over top of Ilpio when the spell was cast, they are instead next to the dismembered friends who are in the hospital? And then why is Mori next to Ilpio when he wasn't anywhere near them when he got transported? Why didn't the maid get transported with them? She was in the hospital with Ilpio's friends when they got transported. What was she even there for anyway? She lost in the tournament. She couldn't stop the guy from going on his rampage, and she did no good in the final fight. What was she or the grandson even doing there? How come when the Holy Realm got destroyed, only the people that were in fighting shape like Mori, Han, and Mira were transported back to Ground Zero? Where were Ilpio and his friends? How did they only show up after the fight was already over? Where were they hiding? They were in a crater. There was no cover. Why were all these people able to stand no problem in the crater of a 540 nuclear bomb blast with no issues with radiation? Why are all those people just able to stand over and watch with no issues stemming from radiation poisoning? Why did that lady heal one of Ilpio's friends, even though she wasn't involved in the final fight at all? That's not what Mori's wish was for. Why? What the fuck does any of this have to do with high school? Okay. That's it. I didn't enjoy this. I would give this stretch of episodes a 2,000, and I would give the show overall, like I said, I feel like this undid all the goodwill. After last week, I gave it a 6,000. I wanted to shut off my brain, but clearly I could not. I'm going to give the show overall a 2,000.
Overall.
If we're not being logic here,
that's not logical number wise, but I understand.
If we not being logical here, fucking right there with you, Rob. 2,000. What the fuck?
I know my scores don't average out, but I was just so mad.
I don't like. So got it. So okay, so you said 2,000 for these stretches, and then 2,000 overall.
2,000. It's tied for me with Gangsta. Maybe like a 2001 because at least they had some better animation than Gangsta. Because animation on Gangsta had trash story and trash animation. At least this had some pretty good fight scenes. So 2001.
Never forget the
overall.
hands on Gangsta.
Never.
Okay. Rob asked a lot of questions that I have. Let me tell you something. Everything about these stretch of episodes will was what I would want in the anime when it comes to fighting. You know how I'm an action guy, fight, right? Fighting nonstop for like these 5 episodes. For me, I felt like these stretch of episodes was like a bunch of ingredients that I love when it comes to cooking. I love all these ingredients. And then it was just like, oh shit, let me just throw them all in a pot together and mix them up and eat it at once. And it's just like, no, that doesn't taste good. That's what this anime was. This is what this last 4 such episodes. This had the potential to be so fire, but they executed. They were just like, how do we execute this wrong? Here's how we do it. And they executed all this shit completely wrong.
Yeah.
I was so disappointed. My favorite parts of these episodes, I can't even necessarily say I had necessarily a favorite part. I was highly disappointed. Well, my least favorite part was all 5 of these episodes and the fact that you fought with me. This shit made no sense. None of this made any sense at all. I feel like somebody that loves this show is going to say, with everything that Rob, all his questions that he wants to answer, he's going to be like, you got to read the manga. You got to, that don't answer all your questions. That's what I feel like somebody's going to say to us when we have all these questions asked about this. And I feel like this show was, these last 5 was the most rushed job I've ever seen in an anime. Like, I feel like it was somebody saying, all right, man, cool, I got all my ingredients for a meal. They'll be here in 2 minutes. It has to be done. Oh, shit. And then throw it in the oven and pull it out real quick. And then you eat. It's like, this shit is not finished. This shit is undercooked. All this is not, it's raw still. And that's what these last 5 stretch episodes were. For me, I give these last 5 a 3,000. I don't give it a 2,000. I give it a 3,000. So I did enjoy some of the fighting. I do. Ice made a great point. He's not logical a lot of times, but he was logical here. And he said, how the hell do you go from doing regular ass taekwondo to fighting a fucking god? I can't argue. I can't fight you. I can't argue. I can't dispute. I have nothing for you. That is fucking ridiculous. And here's the thing. I'm with you. And I said the same thing. When I was watching this, I kept thinking of Samurai Champloo. I said, these shit should have swapped episode-wise. 12 episodes, 13 episodes of Samurai Champloo, and 27 episodes of this show, because this shit needed it the way they rushed it. And I feel like I was watching, I was getting an anxiety attack, bro. I was like, this is how you have a seizure. You want to have a seizure? Yeah. Watch the last 5 episodes of God of fucking High School. You were going to have a fucking seizure.
And you want an epilepsy test?
Exactly. My God. You're gonna, no difference from anybody out there. But overall, I give this show a 4,000. I know my math doesn't add up either. At least I don't think it does. This is man. And a lot of people were standing by this, and I stood by it. I mean, maybe they watched the first 8 like we did. We're just kind of like, it's not bad. It's pretty good. And then that last 5, I haven't heard anybody say the last 5 or like the ending of God of High School is fire.
No.
So maybe they're kind of just like, yo, it's dope. And they was like, hey, let me finish this. Shit.
Because like we say it all the time. We said like almost every anime we've watched, we've said that, man, if this was shorter, we would love it. That's the exact opposite for this. Yeah. This needs to be longer. And it's not net breaking, but plausible like Demon Slayer. Even though Demon Slayer was 16 or 24, they still had more episodes. They couldn't even do it in 12. And they was we still consider it one of the fastest, moving anime.
Very fast, yeah.
Very fast.
And they took them 20 plus episodes.
Yeah.
At the time that we watched it was 18-ish? So it's like...
Yeah. I kept thinking of Denzel Washington this whole time. Was in that movie of, I think it's Man on Fire. And he's like, I wish you had more time. That's what I kept thinking of. This anime definitely needed it. So yeah, overall, 4,000. Barely even a struggle 4,000. Let us know what you think in the comment section, man.
Are you recommending this?
It's tough because I would recommend this probably to somebody that has seen anime before. But I would tell them, like, look, man, this ending is like it's like you having the greatest sex ever, and then when you're about to bust a nut, it's the worst nut that you've ever. It's the worst bust, but the actual sex was fire. But the nut,
the last
trash.
5 minutes is the worst 5 minutes of your life.
It's bad.
Trash. So it's like I would recommend it in that sense of like, yo, man, it gets about that action, but it just doesn't. It's one of the worst dismounts. It's like jumping off that fucking little thing on when you're diving into the pool.
Oh
You slip off and bust your ass.
Just belly flop, just right into the pool. Yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't hear you say you're gonna recommend it, Rob. Would you recommend it?
I would say probably just Google the fight scenes. Like if you want to check it out, like I would say just check out the fight scenes because I agree. Your ingredients thing is totally like that's a great way to put it. It's like, you know, with a show, you have to like, it's like a meal. Like you have your meat and potatoes. That's your storyline. And then the action is like the dessert. It's like your sugar rush. And this was just like taking a bunch of pixie sticks, ripping it open and just like, and I have a stomach ache after this shit. Like it's just too much.
And a fucking brain aneurysm.
Yeah. Oh my God. So no, I would not recommend it. Maybe like if I was just like, if you've seen everything and you haven't seen this, I'd be like, check it out. It's not good, but some of the fights are kind of cool. Like there were definitely fights where I was just like, oh, okay, cool. Like that was the biggest like reaction the show got out of me was just like, oh damn, like okay, cool. That was a cool hit.
All right, so let us know what y'all think in the comment section. If y'all have any answers to any of Rob's questions,
please,
just
don't tell me to read
there.
the manga. Don't tell me to read the comic. I forget the name, but don't tell me that.
Dogwood.
Don't make me read the Dogwood. Don't make me do homework to understand your show.
Yeah. They should have just either waited. And what do you do with a show like this? Do you say, hey, let's put the 13 out anyways? Or you be like, we'll rather wait to see if we can get longer episodes? I don't know. It's tough.
I would make the 13 episodes, the first season, the first 13 episodes, it's just about that first regional tournament. Yeah. It's all about them getting through the Seoul tournament. Then season 2 is nationals. And then maybe a third season about like, oh shit, things popped off, and now like we're all just like trying to live in this chaos of like Church of Knox like bringing that stuff in.
Ominous stuff. You drop it here and there to keep that level of like what the fuck is going on type of thing, but you never confirm it until later in the season. Like that sword shouldn't have come out until season 5 at the earliest.
And my thing is too, don't give us any backstories about 35-year-old high schoolers that don't mean shit to the show.
They had so much time. All the time wasted on these backstories for people that getting out in 2 seconds. I don't give a fuck. Give me backstory about the judges before you give me backstory about this fucking old ass fucking Steve Carell 40-year-old version motherfucker right here. I don't give a fuck. I don't do nothing.
He showed back up again just to get his ass beat and then never showed back up.
He got his ass whooped by the bride, and it's like, what the fuck?
I don't know, man.
Yeah, so let us know what y'all think in the comment section. What was y'all score overall in the last 4? Let us know what y'all was, overall and the last 5, I'm sorry. If you have any questions, any answers to Rob's questions, shoot us anything down below. Matter of fact, I logged out of the Cash App, but everybody that shot us some money for the Cash App, I appreciate y'all. We appreciate y'all.
Thank you very much.
I got y'all names. I will shout y'all out in the next podcast. I promise I will. The Cash App for the podcast is Animeshun Podcast, SHUN Podcast. So shoot us something, you get a shout out. Go ahead and drop your stuff, Ice.
Ice.McGowan on everything. And make sure y'all follow me on the gram too. I'm getting back in my content bag, doing a lot of cool stuff, some stuff around anime. I know the Animeshun gang, we plan on making a Patreon here soon. And on that, one of the things, just to give y'all a sneak peek on one of the things we'll be doing is playing Among Us. So if you want to hop on that with us, please, get a part of the Patreon whenever we drop it.
Rob.
Yeah, I am RV Danger on Instagram, RV Danger 44 on Twitter.
Brennan's at Mr. Producer Face on everything. I'm Keenan Baker on everything. Animeshun Podcast on everything. We will be starting a Patreon soon. There will be some content. Please support that when we got it cracking. And we thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of Animeshun. My brain is tired, y'all.
These middle fingers are for this show.
And so anime was solved forever.